beef. Why do you have such a problem with me?
Can we get the real Andy? I would prefer the real Andy.
Oh, let's get the real Max. I'll take off my mask when you take off your mask, brother.
Because who's your new favorite YouTuber, Ian, that wanted to be on the show with us?
The Madman. The Madman.
Mad Movie Man.
Let's bring on Max Movies because he scares the living shit out of me. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
Mad Max says, I think you should apologize. Right? I'm sitting here in a goddamn torn down pool house.
I don't even know who
the
you
pool house
are.
is torn apart. Okay, it's torn apart because I'm remodeling on my $70 webcam. Okay, I'm no better than you.
Movie Madness Entertainment.
Welcome, 0 viewers. Are you there? Oh, we have one. Welcome, 1 viewer. This will be spoilers for Obi Wan finale. I'm going to do some reactions to Grace. I might check out Rotten Tomatoes. I might check out Jeremy. I've avoided all the leaks and stuff up until now. I didn't watch it last night. I did my hard day's work and watched it with my wife right after work. And I also want to, hey, Ashley, I mean, if you want to pop on, you can. Let me see here. Or not, or just be a viewer, whatever you want to do. Let me just put this in the MME group chat in case anyone wants to pop on. This whole stream is basically going to be about the finale. My initial impressions. There's some really cool stuff in here. But there's some weird stuff too. And even though I enjoyed it, it doesn't feel like a lot of this shit was necessary. There's some really, really cool scenes with Vader and Obi Wan. So that was worth it. I think this was worth it. That's going to be my I'm not good at giving reviews. I like reacting. I like reacting to other people, get conversations started. My initial thoughts are, I think it was worth it. I don't think it hurt anything by existing. The Reva character, I don't think she hurts the series. I don't think she's a necessity except for the emotional pull of one of the younglings surviving. I think some of her. Oh, Ryan's here. Hey, Ryan.
Yo, what's up, man?
I just finished I just watched Obi Wan finale.
Okay.
And my initial, I'm going to react. I don't know. I'm going to react to Grace in a second here. I want to react to lots of people. I want to go on Rotten Tomatoes. See my initial thoughts. We could just give our initial thoughts, Ryan.
Sure. No spoilers.
No, this is spoilers.
Oh, this is spoilers. Okay, then spoilers. Let's go.
Yeah, I can't do all that non-spoilers.
I can't be here for too long. I gotta make supper. But that episode was the greatest Star Wars episode Disney has made yet. In my opinion.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some really cool things in there. I think here's my initial thoughts. I think this was worth it. This show was worth it. I don't think it hurts anything.
I don't think it adds to the original trilogy, actually.
I think it adds to the original trilogy, but it also kind of steps on some of the themes from the original trilogy as well.
Yeah, and I didn't hate Reva's character, and I'm not the one that says like, "Oh, this character didn't need to exist." But ultimately, her last parts of the episode were like, it just was there. I didn't understand why she wanted to go
Yeah,
find
the
Luke.
motivation was not clear. It was kind of very
It's
muddy.
like it's hard to understand. You have to to get a really good villain and to get a really good storyline, you have to understand their motives. And it's just like, I couldn't do it. Does she want to become Sith just so she can, hey Brian, just so she could become like Vader and Sith, like so she could take out Vader, but that means that she would do what he did that she hates. It's just really convoluted, that part.
How so?
Can I just say that Kenobi is finally at peace with himself?
That's
his
a
arc,
good
yes.
that's a good arc right there, that he's no longer carrying the baggage.
Yes, it had closure
I did like that.
Good point, like, okay. CJH. It had a lot of closure for Obi Wan.
I loved it. I watched it 3 goddamn times. Okay.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
No, it's the best Star Wars I've watched in years.
All right,
hands down. And
what I also wanted to end this stream. I wanted to go back and say, who do you think they did better, Old Man Luke or Obi Wan? Because it's like they went through similar things.
For sure. They're in different places. No,
but they had some similarities, cutting themselves off.
There were some common themes, but they do have nuances. They do have like personality differences, situational differences. I think that after Luke, after The Last Jedi and all that, I think they took a little bit more of an interest or time or care or whatever into developing why Obi-Wan felt the way he did. Hindsight's 20/20.
I think Obi-Wan's path to where he was tortured by the past of what happened. Keep in mind, Old Man Luke also had to know that younglings died on his watch. So there's a lot of similarities there. They cut themselves off from the Force, but the context of the storytelling was a lot better for Obi-Wan, and the path was clearer in him gaining his powers back. I enjoyed that a lot more than I did for Luke in the Last Jedi.
The thing is, I think Luke was a shock to the system.
Even watching it now, even knowing that it happens, it's still unpalatable.
At the end of the day, Luke comes through. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, some people are saying Old Man Luke was better. Cass, can you elaborate? I mean, different circumstances. I think there's
completely different circumstances. Completely different circumstances. Well, first off, Obi-Wan Kenobi, especially at the beginning of this show, I would say he's in a similar place than Luke is at the beginning of The Last Jedi. You know what I mean? But their story arcs throughout those movies are completely different. As where there's more regret with Luke, I feel, than with Obi-Wan. There's a lot of regret there, but I think with Luke, there's a lot more because in the novelization, it talks about how the initial decision to join Obi-Wan Kenobi in the first place, he always pondered on that if things had turned out differently. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not going into all the novelization. That's something.
I'm just saying. I'm just using that as that was the motivation why Luke was where he was at. It was a different set of circumstances. Okay, and no matter what Rey,
throwing a lightsaber over your shoulder and burying it in the sand. Yeah,
that is okay. It's similar in my opinion.
Cutting yourself off from the Force.
It's
younglings
that's a
dying.
Similar beat. Yeah, of course. The brother nephew situation where you had Anakin and Obi-Wan that were brothers, and then you had obviously Ben Solo is his nephew. So it's like there's that family connection there where there's a turn that takes place. So yeah, there's a lot of similarities, but I think his being on Ahch-To was different than what Obi-Wan was doing in general.
All right.
Obi-Wan was looking over Luke, even when he wasn't doing his thing. You know what I mean? Luke really wasn't.
The only difference I could see is that Obi-Wan didn't get to train young Luke, but Luke, from what we know, was training Kylo. That's the only difference I could see.
Pretty much.
But other than that, it's very, very similar for me. But I'm just saying the context and the emotional scenes with for me, for Obi Wan, I think we got the whole journey. Whereas some of the stuff with Old Man Luke from The Last Jedi, we're missing parts. Maybe it's in the novel, maybe it's somewhere else, but we don't visually in acting get all the story beats to lead us to there. Little glimpses, but not as
that's
impactful.
Unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. I don't know, Ryan, what do you think there? Compare the two.
Comparing, well, I mean, number one, Obi Wan was given this kid that was, prophesied to be like this being, this the one, that would set balance and all that. Ben Solo is just a nephew. See, there's no prophecy, with concerning him or whatever. It's just that's his nephew. There's actual family lineage there, whereas with Anakin, they're supposed to be family, or Jedi are supposed to be family. We don't really have any context for Luke and Ben's relationship because they skipped right over that and gave us no context. With Anakin and Obi-Wan, of course, you watch it through, episode 2 and 3. So that the backstory there. It weighs a lot more. It makes more sense. With the with what's his name, Kylo, Solo, Ben Ren, whatever. That wasn't so traumatic. That wasn't such a huge. At least even that one shot of like Luke falling to his knees while his little Jedi Academy burn up in flames, that wasn't anything compared to what happened with Order 66.
No, not at all.
It's a completely different paradigm situation.
Well,
gravitas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, we don't need to talk about The Last Jedi, okay? One of my favorite goddamn part is when so Ahsoka got the left side and fucking Obi-Wan got the right side of the mask.
You liked that whole thing? Oh, okay.
Was my favorite part. I went back and watched it a bunch of times. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a huge Revenge of the Sith mark. And that whole, like, if you come to destroy me, I will do what I must. I was like, bro, get the fuck. Yeah, no, they did it.
Well, Cast Graphics says, I don't need anything spelled out or seen on screen. Luke pulled out the most baller Jedi move ever. And basically our monks are keepers of the peace.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I agree. He died doing the most powerful thing any Force user ever did. Rip Luke.
Okay. I did get frustrated with all the Left 4 Dead stuff. It's like happening too much to the point where it gets annoying. Like even Darth Vader, he had the upper hand, he had the high ground. He threw rocks on him and then he left. I'm getting sick of it's really frustrating for me.
And then it gets messed up though. Like when he starts when Obi-Wan Kenobi starts hitting him with rocks.
Yeah.
And I was like, I said something about Ray. Like, I was
it was like
he's gonna
get
into some real Ray shit here. No, dude.
and then he got like Force Unleashed. Hey, we have 14 people watching. Please remember to smash the like button to help. So I will say, I don't think it's as good as it could have been, but I had a lot of fun. I'm not hating on it though, Brian.
You and your expectations.
Did
you watch Doctor Strange today? Because I watched that too.
No, I got to watch again. There's like things that are weird throughout the whole series and annoyances that like, oh, come on. Someone's Left 4 Dead again. It gets really obnoxious. And it's all the Star Wars storytelling though. Like, oh, I stabbed you. Bye.
It's Star Wars though, dude. Like
no, it's a problem overall with the whole.
Blame George Lucas, man.
I think this
Who brought him back into Clone Wars, man? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, he started that, and then they keep doing what he did, like for everything.
Yep.
So it's getting annoying, but yeah, he wasn't going to bring characters back originally. That just happened. People asked for, Darth Maul, and then it happened, and then they're like bringing everyone back.
Yeah.
And then they
that's
nobody
why
dies.
that one line. That's why that one line from Luke is just so comical. It's like no one's ever really gone. It's like, oh yeah, you're in Star Wars, no one dies.
Yeah,
Basically.
except Qui-Gon. Which
he came back.
Yeah, no, I like his scene a
Well,
lot.
he came back as a ghost, but not as a physical
Force
being
ghost.
like the others did. And he did that reluctantly because he was he wasn't going to come back for George.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no,
really?
he was like after the bad reception of the Phantom Menace.
Oh,
he was like, "Yo,
would've been
I'm
a Force
not."
ghost. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was
I
like,
didn't
"No,
know
I'm
that.
not
I have to
coming back."
research that. I believe you, but I actually all my years being a Star Wars fan, I didn't know that George might have wanted a Qui-Gon Force ghost in like
Well, see,
the
yeah, George,
I'm out.
George was
some of the
originally going to
prequels.
show. George was originally going to show how you become like a Force ghost.
Okay.
And, it was going to be sort of like, Qui-Gon was going to be sort of the first one that learned how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You
the
know,
first
like,
Force
and that's
ghost.
why, right. He was supposed to, teach, Obi Wan how to do it. And of course, also talk, with or whatever. And that was sort of going to be the steps. But Liam Neeson was like, yo, I thought this was going to be like, well received, not as kiddie as it was, So he bowed out. He was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing it again." That's why everybody was kind of shocked that he came back.
He's like, I'm out. I'm gonna go train Batman. Lead the League of Assassins.
Okay. Here's an exclusive. This is ET. Oh, hold on. Cast Graphics says, "Thank you for the support, man. The Jedi, $4.99. The Jedi aren't killers. If you can accept Farther Maul getting cut in half, all bets are off." Yeah. Jedis aren't. Yeah, I could agree. I mean, they're not killers, murderers, but they do if they need to, though, right? I think they have in the past where they need to.
I will do what I must.
Yes, I will do what I must. But that's all right, man. Here is a ET Online exclusive article where, of course, it's talking about setting it up for future seasons. Seasons. I don't know what that means.
That means we're going to get to see Obi Wan go on adventures.
Well, I really like the Obi Wan at the end of the series. And I do think there was a journey that I think it could have been executed more elegantly. But yeah. I like where we meet him, and I like where we leave him off. Obi-Wan Kenobi finale, Deborah Chow and Kathleen Kennedy on future seasons exclusive. After 6 action-packed episodes, Obi-Wan Kenobi has come to a satisfying close on Disney Plus. Yet the question remains: will the series return for more seasons, especially after Ewan McGregor reprised his role as titular Jedi Master Hayden Christensen as his former mentee turned Sith Lord previously expressed interest in telling more of Kenobi's story. One thing I will say, if they do more seasons, I don't think they should have Vader.
I don't want Vader in it. I don't want Vader in it. No, they do not need to. They don't need to go off against each other again. I'll take Vader. Give me what Vader's doing. Yeah, but I don't want to hear about that.
I mean, if they do another battle sequence, it's going to be so. There was the closure in that, and even my wife, she's loved the line that where Vader said, "You didn't." He said to Obi-Wan, and that was even for his benefit, which was really kind of weird that Anakin said this for Obi-Wan's benefit. Said, "You didn't kill Anakin, I did." Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, that's where he got the line where he told Luke in the OG trilogy." I'm like, "Yeah," so that made that better. Nick,
well, it was better than him yelling at him on the side of a freaking lava lake. You know what I mean?
Nick, I'll talk to you soon. I think there was good in it. I think it's mixed. It's not amazing for me. It's not a dumpster fire. It's above average. I would say 7 out of 10 for me. 7 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Okay. The whole series. It's been fantastic so far, dude. Okay, I'm so done with this internet over critiquing shit. If I could just sit, no, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about everybody, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I do it. Okay, so it's like, what the fuck? I just want to sit down and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
I did that this morning because I watched it on a watch party last night and they wouldn't shut up. Well, it's like you get the good parts and then they start talking and you're just like, okay, I want to hear what they're having to say here, you know? But I really enjoyed it. I mean, a lot of fun. Same thing with Miss Marvel. I watched that right afterwards.
I didn't get to watch Miss Marvel yet.
Oh, Disney Plus dropped bombs of goodness today, man. Like everything. Doctor Strange. I watched all 3 today. And
Wow.
Obi Wan Kenobi twice. Like that's how much I liked it, dude. I don't watch these shows. I don't rewatch these shows at all. That last episode made me think of Revenge of the Sith so much, and that's like one of my favorite Star Wars movies. I absolutely loved it, man. With the lightsaber shining off of Anakin's face, you know, where it's blue and he's kind of like, you know, Anakin's gone, and then he's like, it's freaking red all up in his face with the yellow eyes. Oh, dude, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The way that they made that look, like, oh man, it's just so much fun, And not only that, I didn't think I would be okay with the Leia rescue story in general, but dude, honestly, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, I liked Princess Leia. I think she was one of the best parts of the show. I can't say that Reva's the best part. I don't hate her.
No,
I don't
no.
like her. I don't mind her character. I like her backstory. Her motivations are confusing. Like you should really feel where the person's going. It's just like, I'm doing this. I couldn't do it. Like, why did she want to kill Luke? Just to become a Sith, to take out Anakin so she can get revenge on killing younglings by killing a young. It's like weird. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the motivation for trying to kill Luke was pretty stupid. I will agree on that one. But her motivation in general, like the interplay between the Inquisitors, that was always like a game of one-upsmanship. They were always trying to outdo each other to make themselves shine in front of Vader. So like the competition between Inquisitors, that's normal. That's in the books. That's, or not books, but it's in the shows. That's in Rebels.
Yeah, well, and the other Inquisitor, the one that came back, he seems still kind of cheesy.
Oh, the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah,
the Grand Inquisitor was kind of cheesy in Rebels too. So let's be fair here, okay?
Well, you want them to be intimidating and impactful. It just was like the Vader stuff was great. The Obi Wan stuff was great. There are some great characters sprinkled in there. There's some weird characters, some weird escapes, and a lot of leaving for dead that gets obnoxious. But if I could look past that stuff, I definitely can have fun with the show. And I think there's a tighter, you know how Ivan Ortega edited stuff. I think if you edit some of the stuff out, some of the silliness,
streamline it,
like even like this battle on this planet, if you edit out Vader leaving him and then just continuing the fight after he does the rocks, I think it would have been I'm like, why is he leaving him again? I don't get all this leaving. Okay, we're done here. I'll travel across the galaxy to fight you, and I throw some rocks on you, but I'm going to leave. You know, he survived. They both survived much worse. Like that's just baffling to me. So, I mean, if you do certain things, or like even when they're escaping with young Princess Leia, the trench coat scene, if you just edit that part out and then them getting caught, it would play a much better and not be so silly. Or just take out the scene where the one alien hits a branch. Like, I think they could have edited some small adjustments, and this would have been a lot better. And not all this, oh, I'm going to give myself out. Here's all my weapons. Oh, I'm going to need them again. Like, just
well, I mean, overall, this it felt like they were like, all right, so we have the main story beats. How do we get from here to here to here to here to here? Oh, I know. We'll connect the dots with this and don't worry about it. You know, we'll figure it out on the day. So I mean, there's a lot of good here in the Obi-Wan series overall.
Mm-hmm. And my wife's like with leaving Princess Leia fix the thing in that shaft. She's like, it would have made a lot more sense if someone was standing on the ladder, say, "Hey, Leia, it's over there," or something like Leia fixing it herself.
Well,
There's
they
just some
had
weird.
they had to give her something to do. That's for the
Yeah,
episode.
yeah,
they,
but
they
you
were like,
could
"What
have
do we
had
do with
one of the
Leia?"
people. You could have had one of the adults like, "Oh, it's over there." You know, it's just.
Yeah. Well,
Just
number
some weird
two, the damn
choices.
droid was hiding behind the wires for like half the time she was in there. Like, all right, when are you going to pounce on her? When are you going to attack? You know, like what?
Well, PKL Entertainment says, sadly, the finale was underwhelming for a series that couldn't justify its existence. Now, I disagree with you there. I think it justifies its existence. I think there's great stuff in here. You have to look for it.
It's not that hard to find
to be
good
honest
stuff
with
in
you,
there.
I think that not only Reva but all the Inquisitors really didn't need to be in it. I just don't think that they needed to be in it. Like how the Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor that came in the last episode just kind of waltzed in like, oh, I'm here somehow. Like he did jack shit in this episode. I'm like, what's the point of that? Just for continuity for the cartoon?
Well, to find Obi Wan, I guess.
Oh my
No,
gosh!
he didn't need
I swear. Do you guys think like Star Wars is like the pinnacle of entertainment or something? Like
No.
Brian. But for any form of entertainment, I expect some semblance of like these people get paid for this shit. They get paid to come up with these stories, you know. And I believe that the stories are better or could have been well thought out. It just seems like it was haphazard, half-assed.
It could have been tighter. I admit that. Justin, how did you watch the finale?
I did. I watched it live on Tim Possible's channel.
And how did you like it?
We actually gave it a mostly positive review.
Cool.
Not something, maybe not something you expected, but look, it was. I actually rather liked the fight sequences. Overall, I enjoy them. I normally don't like fight sequences, but these were rather well choreographed. At least
it had great camera work too.
Yeah, that's something I'd rather enjoyed. I thought that was, you know, for the most part, I think it was well executed.
It was more guerrilla style, like, you know, cinematography when they came to fighting, and I dug that. One thing I thought was particularly piquant was two farmers can take out Reva. I was like,
yeah, that
wow,
was really
rather
peculiar.
She was injured. She was injured.
Well, yeah, she had a hole through her chest.
Like Kylo Ren at the end of Force Awakens, guys. Come on.
There you
go. Yeah. Oh no. Well.
But no, I like the emotionality of the fights. Like that's probably not a word, but
no.
You like the characters, like the motivations in that. You were invested in what they were.
It's better. Okay, and I'm a huge, like I said before you guys got on, I'm a huge Revenge of the Sith mark. So like,
same here.
Even that 40-minute lightsaber battle at the end of that movie, I still thought this one was better.
No, you did?
Oh wow.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
I mean
when he broke his mask,
fight was more exciting. You know, as far as the way they shot it and the edits and all that. I thought this, you know, Vader versus Obi Wan is more exciting, but I still think that the choreography of Episode 3 is better.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean,
I think it's
exciting and good, but I'm just saying, like, I had more like attachment to this fight. Like, I felt like, you know, the stakes were higher, and even like
you could never become a Jedi, because if you're a Jedi,
I disagree that it was better than Episode 3 fight, but I think it got close to being on that level.
Well, in Episode 3,
but
I did feel like
Echo Base Network. How is Reva still alive? So dumb. You can apply that to a lot of Star Wars characters that are still alive, though. But I understand.
How is Darth Maul still alive? How are all these?
Look. I can give the Inquisitor and Maul like a pass because they're aliens. So you can get me with the cow stomachs. They had like 12 cow stomachs or whatever. Like fine, their anatomy is different. They survived. But Reva and Qui-Gon, Qui-Gon died, but Reva should have died too.
I agree. But you know what? What I really didn't like about that, if Vader really wanted to kill Reva, then he would have gone all Dooku on her. I'm like, whatever happened to a good old decapitation?
Oh yeah, dude. What happened? He's gotten soft.
Emperor wasn't
somehow.
there to say do it.
Do it. I liked Ian McDermott coming back.
Oh yeah, I liked him a lot better here than I did in Rise of Skywalker.
I think everyone
a lot
did.
better. A lot better.
Yeah.
It made sense that he was there.
It
for
did
starters.
make sense. It made a lot of sense that he was there instead of Episode 9.
Yeah, and he was, and it wasn't like he wasn't even in A New Hope. So it's just like he's only contacted when things are,
I want to see the special edition. They insert him in.
Not in A New Hope, I don't think.
You know what?
No,
Here's my thoughts as to how this.
Special edition.
Here's my thoughts to how this series got a little bit muddied, even though I still enjoyed it because it was supposed to be a movie first, so they may have had.
I think it should have been a movie.
The beginning, middle,
would have been
and
a great
end,
movie.
and all this escape and getting back and forth may have been rewrites and adjustment to modify it to a series.
It was to
and
stretch
that's
it
why
out,
that's why some of the points are a little bit weaker, honestly.
Yeah, I also thought that
because
the series...
it's back here, we're chasing here, we're escaping. This constant back and forth that got a little silly, but overall the beginning and the end is very strong.
Yeah, there was a lot of silliness that happened. Tim and I picked out some of the cheesy parts or the cheesy lines that were said. We're like, like there was still a lot of that. But what really kind of intrigued me, but also irked me at the same time was the obvious inspirations from fan films that they took, like the Jamie Costa's Obi Wan fan film. If you guys seen that, I thought that was rather good. The relationship between Owen and Obi Wan was kind of portrayed in this series, and also obviously the Star Wars theory Vader fan film. That was, come on, like the shot at the end of this first or second episode. Whichever it was, I think it was the first one, where they have Vader opening his eyes when he's like in the back to tank, just like that. Seems like it was directly from Star Wars theory, and that's one thing that I can say that Lucasfilm does know exists for sure because of that whole monetization controversy thing. The whole reason for this series to exist is because. But let's be honest, one of the lamest fights in the series was the Obi-Wan and Vader fight. It was kind of lame.
Well, they had to play it down so it was the other one more impactful.
No, I understand why it was that way, but like that
execution.
But also that other fan film, like it was like at scene 34 or whatever it was, where they actually went and did an awesome choreographed a New Hope fight, like if that was in the special editions, that would have been awesome. And
the other WTF moment for me,
I say give him 10 more years and film it.
The Vader scene at the end, where he's talking to Palpatine, even though I love that scene where he just says, "You need to stop focusing on Obi-Wan." He's like, "Okay." I'm like, "What? You were obsessed, dude. You were obsessed with Obi-Wan, and then you're just
you don't understand. I must obey my master."
That was really that fell flat for me.
I was just like, really, but
okay.
Then again, Palpatine's the only person he has left. So, in his eyes.
No, that I love that part. Oh, that was really good when he and Ewan sold that line. When he was apologizing, and in the line, the line Anakin gave back to Obi-Wan really helped him. Like I said, he didn't have to say that. I killed him. You didn't.
I wasn't your failure.
Yeah.
I really dug that exchange.
I did too, and I think that exchange would justify this series' existence.
Basically.
Now they're talking about sequels, Justin, or second season.
Oh, like are they going to have Liam Neeson as a regular? That'd be awesome.
I don't know.
Well, they should. That's the only path that they could really take. But also like there's 9 years left, or something, 9 or 10 years left until episode 4. And I mean, Obi Wan, how does he age that poorly?
Yeah.
That's my question. I think they should have added a little bit of gray in his hair.
Yeah. Well, according to director Deborah Chow, who helmed all 6 episodes, Obi-Wan Kenobi was designed as a one-off event. I want to stress it was designed as a movie first. I think that's where there's a little bit of...
Good job, Deborah.
Yeah.
On this last one. Good job.
Yeah. For this one, we really did conceive it to be a limited series. She tells ET it really is one big story with a beginning, middle, and end. So we weren't thinking past that. Of course, given how the saga ends, Darth Vader still wanting to... Well, does he? I don't know. That last scene doesn't really give the context that he still wants to go after Kenobi. He's like, okay, master, you're my master.
You just lied to him.
Unless he's lying and he's going to do it in secret. Reva, Moses,
wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, like yeah. No one's ever lied in movies. Never.
But honestly, if they do a season,
Ryan, like,
no, think about it. I just brainwave, dude. Okay, so like Star Killer character was, a Vader type thing to go against the Emperor, right? What if season 2 we actually get like an actual?
That'd be dope if you got Sam Witwer.
Yes.
And like they were able to do that. Yeah, that'd be dope. I mean, but it wouldn't be an Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
But even if Vader was lying to Palpatine, they do a season 2, they cannot. I don't see any possible way they could have Obi-Wan and Vader meet up again after that.
Oh no, I don't think they will. But
there was so much closure there.
I think it would be rather interesting, and Rebels kind of fumbled with this. In my opinion, is that it would have been much cooler to see like what would happen if Vader and Darth Maul met. How cool would that be? Like, and they bond and stuff, and it's like a buddy story. Like, oh, I got cut in half by Obi-Wan. Oh, really? Yeah, he cut off all my limbs and
left me for
dead in
dead.
the fire, dude. We should be best friends.
Yeah,
like that'd be.
They could do the potato something.
They definitely left.
Yeah, have them both face Obi-Wan.
Do you see that they set it up for a second season though, where he packed up his place?
No,
in a hole in the.
A little bit. There's a lot left to be desired with Liam Neeson.
You can go on with the story, but I don't think they intentionally set it up at the end for a continuation.
Why would he leave?
The only thing that I can say that they left open was Reva
in Uncle Owen too, because he said to Uncle Owen, "You could take care of him. He's fine with you." That's like he doesn't feel like he has to lord over him as much, although he ultimately ends up back there, of course. But it's like he packs up his place. And he's going to go off and do something else. A different adventure, unrelated to...
Yeah, I mean, but that doesn't mean that there has to be anything. I mean, if it ended here, and then all you have is episode 4, that doesn't destroy any... that particular Obi-Wan and Uncle Owen interaction and Luke, that doesn't really destroy anything.
Okay.
It really doesn't. If they just left it like that.
Let's get through, because this is an exclusive, because it's talked Deborah Chow and Kathy Kenny on future seasons. There's plenty of time between the events of Obi-Wan Kenobi and New Hope. There's always potential for more stories to tell. I think, if it was to go forward, it would be if there was a real reason for another one, Chow says. Well, the director's comments were largely echoed by Kathleen Kennedy. The Lucasfilm president seemed a bit more open to that. Of course she is, because of the numbers. Idea of expanding the series beyond one season. Well, frankly, we did set out to do this but I think there's a huge engagement and people really want more Obi-Wan. We'll certainly give that consideration because of the fans, not money. Because of the fans. The money spoke to us. That's really what she adds. And if we feel there's a real reason to do this, it's answering the why, then we'll do it, but we'll see. In the meantime, both McGregor and Christensen have expressed in interviews how much they have enjoyed returning to Star Wars universe 20 years later, what's experience meant to them. Over the years, it's become more and more a good idea in my mind. McGregor previously told ET about revisiting the role. especially now he's getting closer to the age of Alec Guinness, who originated the character in New Hope. Getting to play characters and again and work with Ewan has been the coolest thing, Christensen said. Okay, so this article's almost over. While fans may have to wait and see what happens with Obi-Wan Kenobi, they are likely to get to see more of Christensen's Vader when Ahsoka debuts in 2023. While Lucasfilm has yet to officially announce his return, the spin-off star, Rosario Dawson, inadvertently confirmed the news on social media. I think we all knew, though. When asked if you could tease anything about reprising his role in the series, the actor was also vague. Not too much, unfortunately, Christensen said. Okay. Yeah, they're going to make another season. I'm sorry.
That, and we're getting a cameo in Ahsoka.
Yes.
That is going down.
Oh, Max is scooping.
RJ says the show ended in a way where it does not justify a continuation. I think it completely justifies a continuation. This part is ended. I don't like if he was going to come back, it'd be a cameo in another show or doing something completely different from the Anakin, Luke, and Leia thing, from the Skywalkers, and doing a different adventure. I think it's
helping people on the path.
Because it gave him back his. He just got open to the pathway to Qui-Gon as a Force ghost. He's leaving. He's come to terms where he doesn't have to watch Luke like a hawk and be miserable. He trusts Owen to raise Luke. The Princess Leia thing is, and he's got closure with Anakin. Anakin gave him the closure.
Story arc there.
Yeah, so I don't see a way to continue that story arc again, but doing something completely different.
They'll continue with Vader. They're going to definitely continue with Reva for some reason. And that's one thing that I never liked. And we all said, hey, Reva's going to be redeemed. We knew this from episode 1 when they, first came out. But I was like, dude, that totally it downplays the significance of Vader being turned to the good side.
Yeah.
It totally, because Yoda says, once you start down the dark path, forever does it dominate your destiny. And so once you go into it, you don't come back out of it. Vader should have been the only one that was able to do that through his son, and also, his daughter as well, inadvertently. But Vader should have been the only one that was like an anomaly that was able to do that. But now it's, okay, Kylo Ren has done it. Okay, Reva's done it. Okay, so if you go to the dark side, it's not that big of a deal.
Well, here's RJ's other comment. A good finale, but man, was this series all over the place in terms of quality and consistency. The end was good, but the journey to get there was bumpy, messy, and kind of crappy in some aspects. Okay, fair enough. No censoring opinions. I'm not going to call you a hater. Give us your score out of 10 then, RJ. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Brian gave it a 9 out of 10. Justin, what would you say out of 10 for the series as a whole? Oh, sorry, he might be away. This is Brian. What would you give it?
Oh, me? I'd give it an 8. I think it's a good series. I mean, this one and the Mandalorian season 2 are so far the best ones that Lucasfilm has done. Yeah, they have flaws, but overall, I think that Obi Wan and Mandalorian season 2 have been the best.
Okay. Now I want to watch Grace. She's talking about season 2. She's talking about Easter eggs breakdowns. I want to get her opinion here.
Who's the one that said that we were going to find out? Somebody scooped that we were going to find out that Obi-Wan and Uncle Owen were actual biological brothers. Somebody said that shit.
I don't know.
Well, it didn't happen, of course, but I just I remember somebody scooped that shit.
For me. Okay. I definitely think it could have been better. And I think the transition from where this started, I do think a lot of meddling with the script and altering the product from movie to series could have had something to do with some of the weird stuff in there. Okay, so let me see here. Obi-Wan. Let's see what Grace has to say. And ending explained. Maybe turn down the volume on Grace a little bit so we don't bust our eardrums.
Wow, what an incredible episode. I mean,
Okay.
we spent all season being like, what are you doing with this show? Come on, Lucasfilm. And it finally came into focus today. I'm a little surprised that something that's supposed to be from incredibly professional companies, one of which has been telling Star Wars stories for decades, is still putting forward content that feels like it literally is a second draft, but a second draft instead of the final thing. I can't believe there's no one at Lucasfilm who didn't read the scripts for all 6 episodes and go, oh, now that I've read episode 6, I see what you're trying to do here. Let's fix the rest of the season so that it's as strong as your ending.
Okay, I could agree with that part. I think the ending is stronger. I think it could have been even had more reworking to make it a little stronger there. I agree with that. Series was her. No. Listen, Brian. You
I know that.
I'm not nitpicking.
No, I told you guys, I am dumb movie viewer. Okay, so it does not take very much to impress me.
Like I said, our pal Ivan Justin. I said there's an excellent series in here if you adjust some of the weirdness out, strengthen a few things, maybe even cut out one whole episode and just edit it. There's something amazing in here, I think. I just think there's a lot of filler and back and forth and escaping. Oh, I'm caught. Now I'm free. Now I'm caught. Now I'm free. Just the weird stuff. But overall, the beginning, the middle, and the end is the best part. So there's definitely a story for them to tell. So I agree with that. Like she just said, you're fine some of the other stuff now that you see where you get to. The middle parts could have been refined a lot better. I agree with that.
But it is what it is. And once again, a Disney Plus series really sticks the landing. And no matter how many complaints we had while we were watching it, we're here for season 2. And I think for sure, even though this is being billed as a limited series, they will tell more Obi Wan stories. Ewan McGregor's going around saying he wants to tell more stories. And with this season finale, they're clearly setting up a much better second season. Maybe they're just calling it a limited series to try and help it during the awards season, because you to qualify as a limited series, you're not supposed to continue. I don't think this is going to get any nominations, so they should just admit that they're hopefully going to do more. But I mean, Obi-Wan is literally back in the saddle again with Qui-Gon at his side. Oh, that was great. Liam Neeson pulled an Andrew Garfield, right? And that's what that's called.
Yeah. See? Andrew Garfield's the blueprint, Brian. Remember all that?
The blueprint.
No, but he did it. You were all happy? Is everyone happy?
1 second, Max. Sorry.
What the hell?
I gotta take a phone call.
Were you happy, Justin, with Qui-Gon's return? Oh, Justin's not back yet. Okay. I was happy, audience.
Now, aggressively bluffing that you're not involved in an upcoming project. And you earned that, Andrew Garfield. You earned that. It is definitely called pulling a Garfield. And Liam Neeson, he did a great job. He was very anti-streaming recently. But we knew it was too good an opportunity to pass up having him come back here. And I don't even like the prequels. And I was like, that's a great moment. Gave me the feels. I love it. I mean, how could we not have the continued adventures of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon back together again and throw Reva in there?
I don't know. Ryan had a weak connection. And I think it was out about. And I think Justin, I think everyone has to take some.
And she finds her way back to the path of the Jedi. She's already got the cloak on. She's already mid-transformation. There have been rumors about her getting her own show, but I believe she should stick around here as she and Obi-Wan have this shared pain coming from Anakin Skywalker's betrayal of the Jedi. I mean, they interact with Anakin on the same day, pretty much.
If they do a season 2, does everyone want to see Reva come back? I don't know. I don't hate her character. I don't hate her, the actress. I think she did good for what it was. I kind of wanted Obi-Wan to go do his own thing. I didn't have a strong pull to see what's next for her character, honestly.
Job interview. Oh, sorry.
Good, great.
I had to take that phone call.
Oh, okay, no problem. So we're set up where.
Sorry, yeah, that's Star Trek music. My bad.
Yeah. Thanks. Well, Reva at season 2. Are you really? Do you want to see her character back, or are you indifferent, or?
I'm okay with it, dude. Like I'm at the point now where with Star Wars, just show me stuff, man. I don't care. It's been a while since we've had content. Like we went 2-3 years without anything good, so it was like, all right. Just pile it on, man. I have no problem with an overabundance of Star Wars. Like right now, same thing with Star Trek. There is a show running back to back all year long.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, no, I can't complain, dude.
Well, I just heard.
Dude,
if
Bad
she's
Batch
gonna
was
be
good.
an apprentice to Obi Wan now, it may be annoying. I don't know.
No. I think what she's gonna do. Honestly, I don't see a story for her really. I mean,
her story is kind of.
It's kind of done. Like when she put her lightsaber down, that was it.
Because then she would have to be in the OG trilogy unless she dies.
Exactly. I mean, well, it's a big galaxy. You know, she could be off somewhere doing her thing, but like,
unless she becomes a Gray, or maybe she'll meet up with Ahsoka. Wait a second. The timelines are messing with my head now. Can she meet up with this? I don't know.
Maybe. No, I don't think so, because that'd be post trilogy, unless it was before. Okay. But no, it'd be. I don't think we're gonna see much more of her. I mean, unless we see her in like Andor or something like that, you know. But
okay,
yeah.
Well, let's see.
And I think that's really good stuff. I think when Obi Wan comes to Reva at the end of this episode, it seems so clear that he's meant to help guide her on this next part of her journey. Now, as for Anakin Skywalker, let me just say that Hayden Christensen was worth the wait. Good for him. Good for him. Talk about a comeback story. Not just with last week's flashback, but here this week, everything came together quite well. With the broken helmet, as some of you pointed out, lifted straight from Rebels, but we'll allow it.
I was
now
cool
we
with
get to
it.
see it in live action.
I was cool with it, and it was the opposite side.
That was all edited together, and I think really
I think they
well
did that for people who
put
didn't
together.
watch Rebels.
Well, yeah, of course. There's a lot of people that didn't, but I love that part on Rebels, though. I mean, that was one of my favorite parts of Rebels, the battle on Malachor between Ahsoka and Vader. Like,
yeah.
That's when the show got cool, man. Like
some people think it's too repetitive, though.
I don't care. Star Wars is repetitive. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Oh God, damn it!
The last ones were
I think we always forget what we're talking about. This is freaking Star Wars, okay? This isn't. You know, it's not on any other property. It's a very unique.
Well, honestly,
it's a very beloved property,
the
correct.
intensity. I have to go back and revisit and compare the scenes with Ahsoka and Vader, and now Vader and Obi-Wan, and the dialogue and stuff. I think this was more important.
This one was way more important. Like you actually got to
Ahsoka. Yeah.
You got to see his face. That's what was blown the hell away. Like you got to see his face. Sorry, I mean that's so cool. And then the voice breaking.
Well,
like every once in a while,
well,
the Vader would cut through.
James Earl.
Yeah, it would cut through, and it was like, dude, that was so cool. I loved it. Like this whole movie, that was Anakin pursuing, Obi-Wan. That wasn't Vader. Like that's the whole thing. I keep thinking, like, nah. And at the end of this, you got to see that, yes, he was seduced by the dark side of the Force, and killed by Darth Vader.
All right.
The good man that
really
was
compelling
father
portrait
was destroyed.
of the man behind the mask. But first, let me just say, good for Reva. She did not become Vader. She did not follow into the dark side. And I think that was really good, even though I think that part of the story today was rushed. They didn't have enough space. They don't have enough space. I'm going to say it again at the end of this breakdown, but I really feel that 6 episodes is not enough for the stories that Disney Plus is telling, and they should be 8 to 10, like what Netflix does. So Darth Vader, an incredible character, but damn it, Hayden Christensen is actually overpowering him with this incredible portrayal, again, of the man behind the mask.
This is spoilers.
Anakin Skywalker.
You
that
might want to
moment
leave.
where he alternates between his Anakin Skywalker voice and his Darth Vader voice, James Earl Jones, Chef's kiss. Mwah! I loved it. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but more helmetless Vader scenes, please. Can you believe that? Who would ever think that we'd want to see that? But I have to say, also, it's getting old real fast seeing Vader sashay around with his cloak. As I said, he never parks near the entrance. He's walking everywhere. I mean, once you see it, you can't unsee it. I think a little Vader goes a long way. And I think they have no choice but to dive more into Anakin because, you know, they've always used Vader sparingly in the past. And I think we can see now that that was the right choice. I'd like to add also that by having Luke and Leia in the story, something at first we did not care for, I actually, with Obi Wan having that heart-to-heart with Leia at the end, that totally brought it again into focus for me.
He traveled the galaxy just to say goodbye.
I cried. I was bawling like a girl.
Really?
No. Yeah, it was. Dude, this episode was so touching. Like,
That's
I'm
so
sorry.
weird.
I'm done.
I've never. Maybe I'm just that disconnected. The last time I cried from in a movie was AI. When
you
the
have
lady
no
was, like,
soul.
leaving.
That's okay.
I'm just not. I just don't get emotional like that. But yeah, the last time I cried was in AI when the lady, you know, took her kid or not took the android to the forest and like wanted to drive off, and he was like, "No, don't leave me." That made me cry.
Well, I love the relationship between Obi Wan and Princess Leia.
Zack Snyder's Justice
and
League.
it also makes me want to want the OG trilogy to be differently if Obi Wan just was always around Princess Leia. Forget Luke.
Right.
Well, he was pretty much like forget Leia. You know, if you look at the original, you know, trilogy, he discounted her completely.
Yeah,
you know,
no, my wife said it's a little misogynistic of Obi Wan to only focus on the boy.
Exactly, right. So many emotions.
But people can, even Obi Wan can be that way. That is a thing.
Yeah.
You know, even though she's got the, you know, or she's got the Force like the flu. Even though she has, you know, is Force sensitive and all that stuff, you know, or whatever. You know, they didn't really think to like watch her and hey, let's train her from, you know, at a young age or whatever. You know, they're like, nah, she's good. That's the one.
All right.
It makes them more connected to their parents through this show. And it does both Luke and Leia a lot of favors who have never really been explored despite being the stars of one of the biggest franchises of all time and the first blockbuster franchise. Although that's partly Lucasfilm's own fault because it took them so long to tell any more Luke and Leia stories. And then once they finally brought Luke and Leia back, they separated them and didn't do anything with them because they wanted to parse out OG characters for the new movies, which
they really didn't do.
Bad decision. Also because we so tragically lost Carrie Fisher. Now, Leia has always had a real bad attitude. Some of you think it's spunky and cute. I've always had a problem with it.
What?
But
Here she goes again. Why does she have... What the heck? You know, Grace wants strong female women, but then she can't take it when they're like that. Like her and Jessica Chastain. Are you freaking kidding me, Grace?
Yeah.
Who here has a problem with Princess Leia in the OG trilogy? Who here has that problem?
I don't.
No, dude. Even back in 1977, when it came out in theaters, no one had a problem with her mouthing off to Vader. Anything. Nobody had a problem with that. They were like, "Oh hell yeah!" You know, this lady here, she's talking back to the guy with the laser sword.
Yeah, I don't understand. She is again going on this Leia bashing. Like, what
Grace
a bad
weird.
take. I didn't like the OG Leia. What are you on, Grace?
Yeah.
That comes from Anakin, as Obi-Wan points out here. That's fascinating to me. That gives Leia not only gives Leia more depth and makes her, I think, a more likable character, in my opinion, because you can see it's shades of her father. And I think it shows how close she is to taking, and they should have explored that, you know, whether or not Leia would be drawn to the dark side, because she does have the more attitude than Luke. Isn't that interesting? I think Luke is the Padme of the two of them, and Leia takes after her father. What a miss. I hope maybe they'll explore that at some point. But not only does it give Leia more depth, but it shows what Anakin could have been if he had not gone to the dark side. And so that almost Leia's success almost makes up for his failures, depending who you're asking. I mean, Emperor Palpatine's like, I think Anakin's great. But anyway, I just think it's really fascinating, and it makes Leia an infinitely more interesting character, in my opinion. This series was delayed due to Lucasfilm being unhappy with the scripts, and I think we can see that they never truly fixed those scripts. And I hope for the second season, I feel bad for Deborah Chow. I mean,
You know what? If they do a season 2 and it's written right off the bat straight as a series, I think it could be stronger, even though it had more iconic scenes probably in the first season. But instead of being retrofitted from a movie to a series, and the script problems, they were even ready to film before, and remember right at the beginning of the pandemic, I think they were ready to film. They were on set, and then they stopped filming. Do you remember that, Brian?
Yeah, wasn't it? It had something to do with it was a COVID stoppage, wasn't it?
No, it was also to do with scripting and
it was a big mess. Yeah.
So it wasn't just the pandemic. It was.
This has been a mess.
What happens in Hollywood is they don't not all the time they just abandon script. They rework it to death sometimes, and that's where some of the weirdness comes from, like weird plot points. Constantly reworking it. Where, rewritten also due to Mandalorian similarities. So they kind of, after the success of the Mandalorian, that's what it was. Yeah, that is what it was. They said it was after the Mandalorian was popping off, and they were ready to film, and they're like, "This is exactly like the Mandalorian with Grogu." And so they reworked a little bit of it. And maybe that's also why there's some weirdness. They removed some of the stuff that's too close to the Mando and Grogu scenes. I don't know.
See her redeem herself, but at the same time, I'd maybe like to see another director take a crack at this. But I would definitely like to see another writer come on board, because they have some really good stuff here as we're discussing, but it's not getting fleshed out nearly as well as it should be. As for a second season, we've got not just Reva, but potentially Quinlan Voss, who was name checked here, Cal Kestis, as they showed off some stuff from that game, with exploring the fortress, what was it, Inquisitorus? So stupid. And then maybe also some Ahsoka. Thank you very much. But on that note, how does the Obi Wan show make sure it differs from the upcoming Ahsoka show, besides just taking place before and after the OG trilogy, the original trilogy? And by the way, will Ahsoka be talking to Obi-Wan's Force Ghost? I'd like to see that. That would be great. She could also potentially talk to Anakin. And he is, of course, Hayden Christensen is confirmed for that show. Oh, I like this a lot. It's fitting that Obi-Wan would be the first to see, a Force Ghost. He's so cool. He's so powerful. We'll get to the fight. We'll get to all that. All right, but so finally, 6 episodes. 6 episodes.
Oh yeah, and the last episode was not an hour and a half.
That was bullshit. I was like, "What the hell?" Yeah. They said it was going to be an hour and a half. Who said that?
Well, it was.
I want names. I want scalps.
It was a Fathom event where they had tickets for the. Maybe they put part 5 and part 6 together. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Boo.
It was enough time.
And the Obi-Wan show finally took shape. Suddenly, we see what this show has been trying to say all along. That Obi-Wan is torn between his promise to protect Luke and Leia, yet as one of the only experienced Jedi left, he's also needed to protect and shepherd the next generation of Jedi, not only the ones who are emerging, Force-sensitive children, but the ones who are lost like Reva. That's great. I can't believe it took so long for the show to make that clear. Some of you might be like, I understood that all along. Well, your numbers were few. I believe that's why the Path storyline was.
Or you're a liar.
I believe that's why they did that. But they didn't make it clear enough. And I think with the Path stuff, they focused way too much on Tala. I understand why they did that.
I loved her character. I'm sad that she's gone. I think she was one of the more. I think she was more intriguing than Reva. I think her character was cool because she also had to deal with her past mistakes and how she got families killed and how she became a spy and helping the Jedi underground, Well, I don't know. Did you like her character, Brian? I really enjoyed her acting ability too.
Yeah, she was fine. She so highlight to the middle part of the show.
Yeah, I wish her character would have lived on, and you cannot bring her back.
No, she blew herself up.
It was amazing, Dark Star. There was some weirdness like leaving Left 4 Dead that it constantly annoys me. Like Vader just is like leaves everyone. Okay, I got you. You didn't do that to all those younglings. Well, a few. But she'd be great in Andor. That's true. She could actually.
I'd be all right in Andor.
That's true. Reva could show up in Andor,
or see her in Fallen Order too.
Yeah,
the game.
And I don't know what happened to Justin. Did Justin
forget
forget
that
he's on a stream?
I don't know. He said he had to make a phone call.
Yeah,
that was.
I'll remove
half hour
him.
ago.
Justin, if you get back, tell me, and then I'll bring you back on because it's just all right.
Because they were like, oh, she's like Obi Wan and her
I guess I
guilt
could
and
put you
wanting
back
to
in.
self-sacrifice. But it obscured the point of the Path storyline and the Force-sensitive children. Obi-Wan didn't interact with any Force-sensitive children. He was interacting with a fake Jedi, although Kumail Nanjiani.
Oh, what did you think?
Too.
What did you think of his character? I think he was okay.
At first, I was like, "Oh, what the heck?" But after a while, he was endearing.
I like that he said he was going to help get Leia, but it's very obvious that he was there for some comedic relief. It didn't really have much to do with the story, and his character wasn't that strong.
Well, I think. Well, I'm a fan of Kumail Nanjiani. I thought he was really good. His stand-up's hilarious, but I don't have a problem with him. Comic relief is always necessary. I mean, Star Wars' comic relief has always been a real cringe in my book, so this wasn't as cringe as some of the other comic relief, in my opinion. So it's really not that bad.
Yeah, Haja was okay. I wish there was more than he was more than a plot device. Same for Roken.
Yeah, Roken, we could have got way more. Like, where can we get our limited Roken series where they're pulling Jedis out and get them to safety? Like, that would be freaking cool.
Is Roken? Who's Roken? The Ice Cube's son?
Yeah.
It's
rocking that.
I like him,
dude.
but I didn't get a lot of charisma off of him. I think he's fine. At least Kumail Nanjiani is a little more charismatic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I said, it wasn't very cringe. Like, okay, comic relief in Star Wars, Jar Jar Binks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. C-3PO. You know what I mean? Like R2-D2. Like, that is cringe as all get out. Like, especially in prequels with R2-D2 and like the secret powers and the dumb jokes and stuff like that. Come on, man. Like, that's what I'm like. This is Star Wars, guys. The prequels.
I think she was the strongest out of those three.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I liked her, but unfortunately, she's no longer with us.
No,
But anyway, it turns out Obi-Wan can do both, which I think is the choice he makes at the end, to accept help from Jimmy Smits and Joel Edgerton. They can look after
Joel
Luke and Leia
Edgerton,
like
man,
they're
was he
supposed
good
to.
as
Thank you very much.
I actually think he was even stronger than, even though he had limited scenes. I think he was spot on as Uncle Owen, even more so than Obi-Wan. Like, and I love Obi-Wan. I love Ewan's performance, but man, did he do a good Uncle Owen? Don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Amazing. One of the best performances.
Jimmy Smits is the one who made a mistake. Joel Edgerton's been doing an excellent job. But anyway, Obi-Wan goes off to help the Jedi, I assume, while they look after Luke and Leia. Because, also Luke and Leia, they're still cooking with the Force juices. They're not quite ready. But yes, Obi-Wan learns to delegate. That's basically the gist of this show. It was so cool to see Obi-Wan return to greatness, and it reminds us that he's truly one of the greatest Star Wars characters. At the end, with his hair slicked back again, the weight of Anakin lifted off his shoulders, the cool orange goggles around his neck, and that hello there to Luke, chills! I didn't even need to see Luke's reaction.
My wife cringed at that moment. Like, oh, really? They're going to have it introduced to Luke? It doesn't make sense post the OG. But I think it's like something that you conveniently allow just because you want it to happen.
Yeah.
But honestly, 10-year-olds don't remember everyone they meet.
True. Very true. Well, not only that, but no, he's like, I don't know. that exchange between this is what bothers me. Everybody's waiting so much on this show on that like 5-minute, not even that, like 2-3 minute exchange in Obi-Wan's hovel in episode 4. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where he explains who Darth Vader is, he explains who his father was, you know, or somewhat. So everybody's weighing on that. Like he knew of Obi Wan Kenobi or Ben Kenobi. You know, he lives out beyond the Dune Sea.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my uncle told me about him. But see, the thing is, in The New Hope, his uncle was constantly telling him that wizard's just a crazy old man.
Yeah.
So it's like, so Uncle Owen didn't want him to remember Obi-Wan Kenobi. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of, but like I said, I think they will put too much stock in this show based on that exchange in A New Hope.
Okay.
That was incredible. That was incredible. That will become, there are so many great moments here for the Obi-Wan character that if you're ever going to make an Obi-Wan clip reel, you're going to be including them from this scenes from this episode, and probably not too much from the rest of this series. But anyway, let's talk about that fight. Oh,
Okay.
It totally makes up for the
Badass.
really weak battle in episode 3. The only problem was the lightsabers still don't look right. One of you pointed out they look less
Steve
like
said
beams
it,
of
not
light
me.
and more like glow sticks. In the club, but it's a minor quibble because everything.
Yeah,
else-
are they using like practical, not like practical lightsabers, but instead of CGI light, that they actually use on-set lightsabers?
I imagine they're probably using Force Effects lightsabers or something. I
mean, is that why? Because in the prequels, they're banging. The reason it's so fast too,
sticks. They're banging.
Well, they weren't stick. They did sticks in the training, but then they had these like metal rods that they were banging against each other. But they didn't have any glow to them. They added it in CGI. But it almost seems like they that they have heavy duty lightsabers with light, just like they're doing to make these shows faster, like just like they do that technology where they have the screens and the what's it called?
Oh,
the background,
the volume.
The volume. So they have screens in the back for the backgrounds. It almost seems like they're using different lightsabers so they don't have to do it later.
Yeah.
Of course, they had to do the CG on the helmet there, but I don't know. That might be the reason.
Is absolutely perfect here. Movie level fight. Movie level fight.
Okay.
And the opening shot, which was so amazing,
I like
it
that,
looked like
yeah.
concept art. You know, when you're like, why does the actual
It kinda
project
did.
never look as good as the concept art? It looked great. That's largely because that was a digital shot. But I don't care.
I like that's where Obi-Wan decided to wait for him too. We're near these pillars. That's cool.
It was amazing. And to see Obi-Wan being probably the most powerful Jedi we've seen to date was amazing. Yeah, that's what I wanted out of this.
Oh
show.
yeah. Oh wow, we
always
got
hope
it.
to see
Oh
from
yeah, from Grace, Brian. Oh yeah. All right.
Luke, and that we've kind of gotten with his Mando appearances so far. But wow, to see a Jedi unleashed. It was incredible.
I gotta watch that scene over
from his
again.
amazing
It's
form
amazing.
with the lightsaber.
Yeah, when he did that, I was happy. When he did this
Dude,
thing, I'm like, oh,
same
yeah.
words as episode 3. I will do as I must, and I was like, see,
Yeah.
that right there got me. This whole battle, like I said, just the emotional aspect of this battle was reminiscent of the sequels,
Mhm.
and I think that's something that the prequels lacked, just because of the acrobatics. You know what I mean? I agree with what Red Letter Media said about it because I watched their review recently.
Oh, they did a review?
Well, Mr. Plinkett years ago.
No, of the new stuff.
Oh no! Oh, they did episodes 1 through 4.
It looked like they were mocking it though, so I didn't watch it.
They kind of were, but they also I think Rich said he enjoyed it. He actually liked it because the bar was set so low from Star Trek Picard, apparently. So
This shot right here, instantly iconic to his use
This
of the
you want to know why I watch Grace and other people, because I'm lazy and I want to get into the conversation, enjoy it. She gets all the images ready. I don't have time. If I had a 10K sub channel, I had more time. I would do this kind of work, but I don't.
Max the piggybacker.
I don't have enough time to put all this. I could, but these are people that they have. This is their livelihood. They have the time to put all this stuff together. We don't have this time. We're working. We're busy people, and I just want to get into the conversation anyway. So she does a good job getting all this stuff together.
Force. He's this close to flying, and I am.
I did roll my eyes a little bit on that. I was like, okay, but I still liked it.
Loved it. At least he didn't say lifting rocks.
Yeah.
Y'all would have lost your damn minds.
Sure, he was going to fly out of the ground when he freed himself from the rubble, or at least do a force jump. But I mean, it was great. It was so good. When he's moving all the boulders. Some of you said he was earthbending. Oh, it's just incredible. Oh my gosh. And then surprise!
That
Anakin
was look at see, she gets the good shots. Oh my dear. Brian's a busy dude today. Look at that emotion in the scene with Obi Wan. Look at that. I really felt that, man. That, the dialogue here, I think the dialogue between them two was really on another level, even beyond episode. I don't think the fighting sequence was as better than episode 3, but this dialogue was so great for the closure of their relationship. No, I didn't cry. All right.
On a gift. And I wonder if it was intentional, because you can sense there's still a bond between the two of them. Heck, that's why they don't kill each other. That's why they keep letting each other live in these big battles. I mean, that's largely because they have to do that because they have their final battle in episode 4. But I think the logic behind why they keep letting each other go is that there is still a bond there. And I think that works, and it's very powerful for both characters. Although it's a little bit like Joker and Batman, right? When you think about it. You're
okay. That actually helps me think of it that way, because Joker gets away, Batman gets away. And yeah, if you think about it like the Joker and Batman relationship, they're symbiotic. They need each other, and they don't really want to kill each. Well, there was a time you thought Anakin wanted to really kill Obi-Wan, but maybe he wants to suffer and confront him and test him, Maybe he thought he could even. No, I don't think he thought he could ever turn Obi-Wan, but I don't know.
All the Darth Vader deaths are on you, Obi-Wan, because you keep letting him. You keep letting Vader live. That's fascinating. I believe the Jedi can kill, right? Interesting. All right. So anyway, Vader tells Obi-Wan that Obi-Wan didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. Anakin Skywalker killed himself. And that frees Obi-Wan of his guilt. And he no longer addresses Vader as Anakin, but instead as Darth, as he says goodbye to him.
Thinking about that even more, and how we've been talking about this on the stream, and how she just mentioned that, and my wife, that does really make it stronger that he won't even reference Anakin. And that's not what they originally planned in the OG trilogy. But thinking about how that makes it better when he just says Vader and he treats them like two separate people, that makes it really strong. Really strong.
That was also very, very powerful. It's also, as some of you pointed out, what Obi-Wan tells Luke, that Darth Vader killed his father. And this show makes that no longer a cover story, but the truth. I like that a lot. And what a burden off of Obi-Wan's shoulder. He feels light.
Darth instead of Vader. Thoughts? I think he could probably have done either one. Hey, Darth. Hey, Vader. I don't think there's any. I don't have a lot of thoughts on if there's anything behind that him calling him Darth instead of Vader. I just think the important thing to me is him stop calling him Anakin. Anakin, I failed you. So, he does say Darth in A New Hope. Yeah, that's right. He does say Darth.
Later at the end of the show, and that gives it a very strong prequel vibe, which I'm sure many of you appreciate. I even appreciated it. And again, I'm not a big fan of the prequels, but I liked seeing that Obi-Wan back again, and gives a bright future for a potential season 2. All right,
sorry I was gone for like 30 minutes.
I kicked you out. I put you back in. Well, you're.
Oh, sorry. I had a.
Aren't you sad? You missed the whole Grace video. We only have like a minute left.
No, I had a very important phone call to get to. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. yeah. I won't get into it, but
Okay.
but
Ooh,
anyways,
it's storming outside.
it's storming for you too. Are you
Yeah.
you're in the Midwest?
No,
Oh, okay. All right.
but it.
Well,
Yeah.
because it's happening in my area too. It happened for a bit.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get this finish this here.
And see what they were trying to accomplish here. Do you think they accomplished it? And what did you think of the show overall? Do you want more? I'd like more. I definitely want more. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'd keep young Luke and Leia around as well, as Obi Wan is bound to them, and they're part of his story, and he's part of theirs. I keep all of it. Again, these Disney Plus shows just need to be longer. They had all the great materials here, but they just didn't have enough space.
Yes.
Longer?
Yes.
I
Thank
agree.
you. Thank you. The God sent Grace Randolph for saying something that I've been just screaming like for the last 2 or 3 years. Make these damn episodes longer. Yeah, I don't like a 19-minute Mandalorian episode. I hate it. I want I don't want filler, but at the same time, I want a longer episode, more to enjoy in one sitting. That's one of the things that
I think it's because of the action. If you make a longer series, you're going to have to tone down. You're going to have less action sequences because that significantly brings up the budget. Like if you do 8 seasons, 10 seasons, it's gonna with more action, any action, special effects.
Well,
I honestly don't think the issues with this specific series were the lot more episodes. I just think a little bit of weirdness in the middle. But I think it's
it wasn't Mandalorian season 2 kind of weirdness in the middle. That's I was not a fan of episode 2 specifically with just like the spider episode. I'm like, this is just pointless. This whole episode is pointless. Combine these episodes and there's no worries about a budget. Like it just combine them. It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
At least to me, it wouldn't make a difference to be like, okay, instead of splitting them up and splitting up the action sequences between each episode, just make longer episodes and have less of them.
Yeah.
Like episode 1 and 2 of the Mandalorian, the season 1 should have been one episode. Less omelet crap.
Dark Star says, really wish we got some Clone Wars flashbacks Kenobi. That would have been perfect opportunity to do that. Yeah, but if you do flashbacks to Clone Wars, that's going to be expensive too. Just like when George Lucas, right before he sold to Disney, he was starting to do the Star Wars series, and he said he couldn't figure a way to do it without on the budget he wanted to. In the amount of content they want to make on Disney Plus, they're not giving Game of Thrones or Amazon Lord of the Rings type budgets to these shows. They're not. For better or for worse, they're not doing it. They're doing these on a budget. They're sticking to this budget, and honestly, that gives the opportunity for less risk and more shows. Whether you think that's good or not, they are not doing the budget that the other ones are. Oh wow. Okay. All right. Let's finish this out here.
To do it properly, they need to be 8 to 10. I mean, maybe not every episode, but they really, on some of them, this needed to be 8 to 10 for sure. All right, share your thoughts down below.
More episodes?
Subscribe
Okay.
today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos
All right.
now.
Oh, okay. So she wasn't talking about what I was talking about. Well, then, okay. I don't agree that it should have been like 8 or 10 episodes. I do think that the episodes themselves should have been a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
Or possibly combined. Like, I think that was the opposite of what I was saying.
Well, I will final thoughts, and then we'll close out the stream. But I would say I enjoyed a lot of it. I think there's great things here. The more I think about some of the dialogue and scenes with Vader and Vader and Obi Wan were great, and it does give a lot of closure. And now that I think about it, if we didn't have that closure, it would be weird. Now that I think about it, this is much better than leaving off episode 3 to going into New Hope, where Obi-Wan is so calm the next time he sees Vader. Of course, he's like a master, and but he's really calm when the way it was left off from Revenge of the Sith. It would be very emotional, their first encounter, you know? So I don't think that scene, I almost think this is necessary, you know?
I feel like this is one of the few moments in I mean, we didn't really have anything in the sequel trilogy that really added to the original trilogy, in my opinion. Is, I hate them. I hate them so much. There weren't very many, if any at all, that really added to the lore. This one did, and that's why I really appreciated that moment when Obi-Wan apologizes to Vader. That was so big, and it just makes sense.
Whereas if they just kept it as is, the status quo, and have Revenge of the Sith, and then New Hope be the first time Obi-Wan sees Vader again after he left him on Mustafar burning, that would have been played. It actually plays really weird without this.
Kind of. It almost makes Obi-Wan look
because
like
some
look like a
critics
dick.
Because some critics of the series even are like, this doesn't need to be done because we got Revenge of the Sith, they left, and then they see each other again in New Hope. But if you really, really think about the context, him just seeing him and not having that emotion tied to it, even though there's their force, dark side force and light side force, they should be in control of their emotions more. It really would be really awkward if that was their first meeting after he left them in Mustafar burning like a crisp. Whereas with the context of this, you get the like weird meetup. The first meetup was awkward. The second meetup was a lot of closure for both of them in a battle. I think it makes their whole relationship stronger. So I do think it justifies. That's my final thoughts. Thinking about it more, talking out with you two, Brian, Justin, and also Ryan that left earlier, and then listening to Grace, really going through my thoughts on it. I think it really makes the relationship stronger, and that eventual meetup, their final scenes together in A New Hope, better. Whereas without this, now that I think about it, would be kind of awkward and doesn't really serve the journey they did in the prequels. True. It serves on its own, but when you add in the prequels without this context of what happened in between, it's not as strong. Now it's stronger. So I think it helps a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Brian, Justin, you have any final thoughts before we end out the stream?
After you, Brian.
No, I've been pretty succinct. Love this episode. Love this series. And the main reason why I loved it was because it was fun. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't looking forward to this series like a lot of people. I was just like, I don't want to see this. Like, only they're going to screw it up. And then I just watched it, let myself go. And honestly, that's what I want out of entertainment, is just to be able to forget about how crappy the world is for 45 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
So if I can do that, and this show did it, good job.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I stand with it. It's nice that I could actually be entertained, because at the end of the day, I mean, the people will complain about anything and everything that they can, and I mean, with the world we live in, there's no shortage of things to complain about. But with that said, that's really what these properties are for, and what they should be, is just to entertain and get back to the basics of just having everybody just kind of escape the world instead of being reminded of it, which is a mistake that a lot of them have made previously. But with that Vader Obi-Wan scene, I'm like, oh, finally, I'm just like kind of getting away from just whatever crappy day I had at work yesterday. So it was nice. I just wish I wish, I hope and pray that with Lucasfilm, that they continue down
Thank
that sort of path and don't lose sight of what makes this special again. Like that's the only thing I can say about that, because they don't get me wrong, I still don't like Lucasfilm overall, but it's things like this. It's just like oh man, I wish there was more of that feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Overall, I like the episode, but man, I'm not watching Andor. That's for damn sure.
Oh, I am.
Well, I hope you have a good time.
The good thing is, even if you had mixed thoughts on the execution of the season, I don't think anyone, regardless if you don't think it's the best ever, I think ultimately it left you feeling that they handled Luke and Anakin's storyline and their eventual meetup, and didn't leave you wanting more of that. Like that's a good sign too, that it doesn't really, if they find a way to bring them back together, I'm really I don't know. It's just perfect the way it ends here. Perfect the way it ends here, even if they do a season 2 and it doesn't leave you wanting more. So that's a good thing. It makes you feel it's fulfilled. They fulfilled on Obi Wan meeting up with Anakin and confronting Darth Vader and their relationship and dealing with all of their baggage and their issues without you wanting more. Regardless of you think the execution of the series as a whole, they delivered on that, and I don't think anyone could ask for more than they gave here. I honestly don't. Right. After the episode 3 where they did their first one, it was a little sloppy. Yeah, definitely. But after this episode, I don't see how anyone could ask for more Obi-Wan versus Vader and say you didn't fulfill what you promised here in the series. I think they fulfilled that at the very least.
Yeah, I agree.
Even critics of this series, I don't think you could say they didn't fulfill on.
Oh, just watch.
Yeah.
All right. Just you'll hear what they say.
Yeah.
Don't if you're interested in what they actually some of the critics do have to say about it, try to hear them out. But I know it's so easy to get jaded into, oh, it's going to be we can predict what they're going to say, but you might be surprised.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's where we're going to leave it. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you have a great day and rewatch it. Go give it another watch, Obi-Wan. Or if you haven't checked out Miss Marvel, now's the perfect time. Go start Miss Marvel if you haven't. Bye, everyone.